Alright, yeah, sorry for the late update about Comic-Con Revolution, but today, this is my discussion about it. Hey guys, this is just my post-vlog of Comic-Con Revolution. Sorry I have not gotten the video pretty soon, but now it's here. So, in today's topic, I'm just going to be discussing some huge failures about Comic-Con Revolution that I've never had experience like this before. Usually I never encountered these problems, unlike any other conventions like this before, throughout my whole lifetime of me vlogging around. But this is now my first ever criticism that I ever experienced or have complained. If you guys don't know what Comic-Con Revolution is, it's just a usual comic convention that occurs at Ontario Convention Center, where exhibitors and artists present all their stuff for attendees to make purchases, and they also host panel schedules inside this convention. So before we get into these three things, the convention fairs are some of the worst experience that I ever encountered in my past times during any of the conventions. Basically, this involves very bad experiences like security problems, some other unusual encounters, and etc. But with the brief explanation, here are all the three things that I've ever had the worst encounters so far. Alright, the three things are 1. The random heated argument, 2. Security issues, and 3. A friend getting arrested. Yes, I know the third one might be pretty sensitive to all, but I never had something that explained in my vlogs before, so we'll get into that later. Alright, taking the spot on number 1, it's just basically a huge argument. So I did mention this in my previous vlogging episode of Comic-Con Revolution, but during the day 0 of me doing the pre-pickup line, I was in the line first by myself where there's like no other people that are near me just to pick up the badge. And upon the time to where I pick up the badge, a random gray car just drove the opposite lane, thinking that they're just to be picking up the badge with me. But it was a totally different story. This involves like two people. One is the father who is in the passenger seat, and the other one is a daughter who is driving. This gray car just drove inside the opposite lane from south to north, which is not the correct lane to drive into. And when the gray car just simply pulled over, both the father and the daughter simply end up in a heated argument, primarily involving the dad taking away the daughter's phone. Unfortunately, I don't have a context of what's going on since I didn't have time to intervene about why they're doing this. But from my assumption, it's likely because of the daughter being distracted on her phone too much. Again, no evidence to back up of what's going on, but I do got some footages to show you. Keep that in mind is that the footage has been modified for privacy purposes and to protect their identities. So this first part is where the daughter convinces her dad just to give her phone back so that she can continue driving, but the dad refuses. She then desperately tried to get her phone back from her father until the father decides to just walk around the whole convention. While the dad started walking away from the gray car, the daughter kept desperately convinced dad to give her phone back, but the father refuses. The father did briefly notice me recording the whole scene here, but just gonna keep it private for privacy purposes. And the daughter kept desperately convinced dad to give her phone back a lot of times. So when they're out of the scene, I just decided not to follow them too much, otherwise it just considers too much to be a scene for this vlog. Unfortunately, I don't like making videos too viral of what's been going on here. Just gonna keep everything clean as much. Then a few minutes later, they were back on the scene, but this time I was recording using my GoPro. Unfortunately, the GoPro lenses are just too wide for me to film, making it more difficult for me to hear the interactions. But from the footage itself, the daughter kept continuing to argue with her dad just to give her phone back so that she can drive. But the dad refuses to give her phone back. Then suddenly, a bystander who happens to witness this whole incident came up to the two people and then confront them about what's been going on, but I don't have a conversation footage of what happened so far. Again, this is just basically a private matter for them, but I don't want that on the film either. And after all the heated argument, the daughter and the father just drove away elsewhere where they will never be seen again. To this day, I am not sure what's still going on with them. Presuming maybe that punishment is just a bit too excessive, which causes a heated argument between both of them. If security were to witness this incident, then they'll just ask what's going on and then just intervene the scene, which I have not seen them around here during the time while I was lining up to pick up the badge. So all of that story about the father and daughter just to be arguing near while I was at the pre-pickup line. All right, the next section is going to be the huge topic out of all. It's going to be unprofessional and unfriendly security. Yes, you heard that right. I've never encountered an unprofessional and unfriendly security during the checkout line. Normally in every anime and comic conventions, security usually allow lenient items such as the tripods, seating areas, and even more videography equipment, which is useful for all content creators, especially all the YouTubers and social media users. So while I was waiting in line in day one, the security manager near the checkpoint told us that the foldable stools are not allowed to be inside the convention. If you don't know what are the foldable stools, they look something like this. Adjustable foldable stools. Usually I carry these during anime and comic conventions whenever I feel tired or have no place to sit down in anywhere.
Okay, small correction on my part here. After some attendees made formal complaints, the security made an exception to bring foldable stools.
This case primarily concerns me because normally we carry these foldable stools across all the conventions. I never had any issues with all the conventions when I brought my own foldable stool. This one, I got this during Christmas Day, if you want to check out my episode. Other attendees who brought foldable stools simply had no issues with other conventions, unlike the one in Comic-Con Revolution. So all that situation about the foldable stools did resolve, at least to my extent, although the security is pretty much concerning to me. So during the first day, I never brought any dangerous objects into this convention because I usually normally film a lot and vlog, especially for all the cosplayers, which I don't got any issues with them. But then on the second day, when I lined up near one of the checkpoints, I was asked to check my bags and then check my things I carry. The only issue that I've been experiencing in the past for the first time is this tripod. You heard it right. The security on the second day, the manager did not allow me to bring this huge tripod that I normally use to film cosplay contests and any other panel rooms. Other securities didn't have any issues with me carrying the tripod since it's mostly in anime and comic conventions, useful for like video creators and photography. Based on my previous vlogs, there has never been any case of me bringing all the tripods into any anime and comic conventions like these, such as the Anime Expo Chibi, to where they can bring photography equipment and the tripods. This tool is super useful for filming inside a convention here, but for whatever reason, the security guard decides to forbid anyone from bringing their own tripods. I only used the tripod once for the cosplay contest and Comic-Con Revolution, if you'd like to check out this video. And this is the only time to where I brought my tripod yesterday, and I didn't have any issues since. And apparently I'm not the only one that experiences the same issue as me. The YouTuber or mini YouTuber whose name is Melty Pop also has the same experience as me. He was unable to bring his own tripod on the second day of Comic-Con Revolution, where he's already allowed to bring it yesterday. Here's a video that proves his statement about the issue in Comic-Con Revolution and also his criticism about security.
Hey folks, it's May 18th. I'm here at Comic-Con Revolution. Today is Sunday. It's unfortunate, but I was actually using my tripod yesterday and I didn't have any issues. Right over there is the security checkpoint. They said that I wasn't able to bring in my tripod because it could be a hazard and could hit people. It's unfortunate, but I used my tripod to the point where, you know, I just utilize it for good lighting and they won't let me use it. So security won't let me in with my tripod for Sunday, which is pretty disappointing. It makes it unfriendly for the people that actually do photography and videography for the cons. Mind you, I did not hit anyone with my tripod or bump into people or drop it or anything like that. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but probably not gonna go to this con anymore because it's unfriendly to photographers and videographers, which is unfortunate. Yeah, this is Melty Pop. This is Sunday. I gotta go back into my car to drop off my tripod. I can shoot video, but I can't use my tripod to light cosplayers.
As he stated from one of his videos, he decides just not go there anymore to Comic-Con Revolution due to unfriendly security practices. Usually tripods are not considered a type of weapon that can be used to hit people. And for all the tripods that we carry, we don't use it to attack people or bump into them by accident or just simply dropping them randomly for no apparent reason. But the security manager contradicts everything, thinking that all the tripods are considered weapons, which makes no sense in the comic or anime conventions. In fact, I've seen many attendees with tripods that use tripods for photography purposes and videography as well. I never had issues with anyone with tripods that they're just using for filming purposes. This also includes the previous Comic-Con Revolution where tripods were never a problem inside of this convention. But during the second day, I noticed that some few attendees have brought their own tripods, which absolutely makes no sense in this convention. There are 3 clips and some are photos that were caught using tripods without any issues, and none of them has ever hurt anyone inside or actually hit anyone like this. It's just that the security has no logic sense about bringing tripods into comic and anime conventions. I don't blame them for this because they want to use tripods to make more content friendly inside Comic-Con Revolutions, but forbidding us from bringing our tripods just destroys our entire content. It just makes filming much more difficult. That means a sole player like me cannot do interviews by using tripods. It requires like another person to hold a camera, which often becomes pretty unstable and hard to manage. And yeah, that's just basically the case here. That's the one I forgot to mention about that. And so I wrote this huge complaint on Twitter and Bluesky and even my Instagram about this security problem here. But what I know about the security is just basically more of a local security at a local convention, only at Ontario, California. Mostly to secure events here. It's not the actual title of the company's name. But just for privacy reasons, I'm just gonna keep it private, just not to spill too much of the criticism about security. But forbidding the use of tripods and sometimes foldable seats inside of the convention actually hurts this experience more than keeping everyone safe. I understand that safety is the #1 key to this convention for safety reasons, but having unnecessary security measures is basically unreasonable and does not make the convention safe. This puts many risks of workarounds, such as trying to hide items inside just to avoid detection. In some cases, the friend I know that comes from Italy also has a similar experience to where they put unnecessary security measures, such as carrying a bottle cap, believing that the bottle caps can be used as throwable weapons. One way they admit to this situation is just by covering the bottle cap with tissues just to avoid detection. But apparently this only happens in Italy. It's just basically unrelated case here. But hopefully this unnecessary security measures about the Comic-Con Revolution helps to anyone. And my final conclusion about the security is just basically very poorly managed. To all regular security guards and managers, I hope you're reading this in your local city. I understand that you wanted to make the convention safe for all, but adding unnecessary security measures such as forbidding anyone to bring their tripod and sometimes the foldable seats actually hurts our experience more than keeping everyone safe. No security company would ever do that just to forbid anyone from bringing their tripods and the foldable seats. We bring tripods for improving content and promoting conventions like these, not just to make it more of an unsafe environment. And that's a conclusion of the security issue, which I will eventually make a top 10 or some other rankings of all the conventions I visited. Okay, so this is the last one. It's just one of my friends I know, but I'm just keeping their name anonymous because of the ongoing trial that's been currently happening. So a friend I know is a worker doing conventions and stuff might have gotten arrested from a previous convention for assault. How was he charged for assault? So what happened was he told me a story of what's been happening at the convention to where a random guy just simply flips the table and then punches the friend first. And then the friend strikes back, which ended up causing him to be charged with assault and had to pay a $5,000 fee. Unfortunately, there's no security cameras to back up the claims here, and he's still on a trial as of now. Honestly, my friend has never done anything wrong at the convention ever since, because the other guy just simply lied to the officers about the assault charge and then having my friend getting arrested and being charged with a crime. The only thing that I know that my friend told me is that he has never been charged with a crime like this before, has never actually assaulted anyone like this.
Pasadena, I got banned. How did you get banned? I beat up a vendor. A vendor did this to me, and I beat the shit out of him. Oh. And I got arrested for that. Yeah, a vendor did this to me. I got mad. He was like ching ching chong chong. I just messed him up. Dude, when we got in the fight, he tried to steal our shit and flip our booth too. It was insane. Yeah. And the cops think that I'm dangerous to society. I'm defending my business. What the f***, man? Is there a security camera that you asked them? No security cameras. It's crazy. The police think I'm dangerous to society when they picked a fight on me. And I can't believe I got arrested for that. My brother is very mad that we lost $5,000 and we had to pay for this f***ing Jew lady. It's ridiculous. Till this day, I'm pretty depressed. Now both of my parents are sick, it's even more depressing.
And I've seen him around like multiple times before about all the conventions he visited. In my opinion, he has never done anything wrong. He just wants to just defend his own business, including trying to defend his boss business. I'm not good at pretty much explaining everything as much as I can here, but I'm still not sure how he's gonna fare during his trial about the assault case. Unfortunately, I won't consider it as a fail inside Ontario Comic-Con Revolution since the assault never happened at the place. It happened somewhere at a completely different convention that I don't even recognize or know as much. So yeah, that was the only time where a friend told me his story a long time ago. I'm not gonna name an individual because of an ongoing case here. Just gotta keep everything private. So in conclusion, I know this is a pretty weird speech essay about my update vlog in Comic-Con Revolution, but from one of my understandings, there are three things that I've already explained. The argument between getting the cell phone back to drive, second is unfriendly security, and the third one is just a random friend I know getting arrested from a different convention. Lessons learned about these three. First things about the argument, never go too much of an extreme punishment for your kids as it can create a lot of psychological trauma. For unfriendly security, don't trust them, even if you're trying to bring forbidden items to the convention when they're actually not being used as weapons. Don't take my advice from it, but if you prefer to be safe, just try not to bring any items that are considered too dangerous to bring. And for my friend's arrest case, probably next time set up the cameras near the tables so that you can use it as evidence against the offending individuals in the future. But I guess that's basically the end of the video here. But before I conclude the video, this is what I'm about to unbox. This is a selfie stick is what I got. That's right, I purchased it with my own money just to buy a smaller tripod instead of using a big tripod like I carry. But I guess I'm just simply gonna open the case here by itself and then pull out everything. Yeah. This is a selfie stick. And now to get into this quick unboxing, cause it's just basically a brief introduction of my new tripod. This is what holding camera with the new tripod looks like, even though the only difference is that it's not very adjustable as much and it's super wobbly. And I cannot use a large lens just to hold the camera steady. But the bright side is it does hold my phone somewhat decently well, except that it's just fully made out of plastic, which isn't pretty much a good material to use as much, but this is just pretty much a small tripod that I paid for a few bucks. Compared to my old tripod, it's just basically more sturdy and durable, but the small one like this, which is a selfie stick, is just very hard to handle and it wobbles too much. I almost forgot to mention it does work with my GoPro as well, which I can use it to carry the camera very light. Perhaps this mini tripod could be useful for putting up lights near it, and I can sometimes use my main tripod just to get sturdy shots and better angles. Even though the height between both of these tripods is just very comparable, this one, as I said before, is more sturdy and durable, but this one is just easily shaky, and because of this design, of course. So overall, this is just a brief unboxing of my new selfie stick, aka Tripod 2.0. Also, because I'm not the only one that experiences the same issue with tripods, that means I can finally use my own tripod once again for Anime Riverside in the future. So I guess I'm back to using my old tripod after my initial announcement of retiring this. But yeah, should be it for today, and now I can finally use it once again for anime conventions. Alright, just to conclude the video here, I hope you guys enjoyed this update vlog and my post vlog of Comic-Con Revolution 2025. Hopefully by the next convention at Turo, I'm just not going to bring my main tripod, but I can still bring the tripods to other conventions too. If you guys do enjoy my content, please consider following me on other social media platforms in my About page. This is VlogWithAvroTF, signing out.